Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, it did. It's the new PiBurn GRIP 2. Today on LaserNug. Welcome back. I purchased this PiBurn GRIP at the same time I purchased my Bolt, my very first laser, and my very first Rotary. Did a little bit of research. It's the only Rotary I've owned, but I've never had a problem with it. It does an excellent job and works great in the Bolt. Although it's done an excellent job working in the Bolt, you guys may remember about a month ago, I had a bit of a challenge trying to balance it in here and position it into this fiber laser. But it turns out Stan and Len took that into account when building the GRIP 2. Let's check it out. When working with the original GRIP, there were always a couple of concerns as it pertained to this bracket here that'll adjust your height manually for your stepper motor, as well as the tower in the back. This new GRIP 2 has a much longer rail on it. It's about 3.5 inches longer, which is going to provide you support for much longer cylindrical objects. The adjustment is smooth as butter along this rail. And you may have already noticed there's no high tower here on the back for the adjustment wheels, and the large or tall brackets are no longer existent on the stepper motor. When you're adjusting height of your stepper motor or your chuck, there's no longer a need to remove those thumb screws and manually adjust it into that bracket. It's a simple turn of this wheel. And once you've set your height, that stepper motor is locked in, similar to the same mechanism for the back. A couple of really nice additional features on this GRIP 2. There's a printed center line that runs right down the middle of the axis of your chuck, so there's no more guessing anymore. And they've included a bubble level here, which comes in really handy for cylindrical objects that don't have any type of a taper to them. And your level adjustment now, one thumb screw, and you can adjust easily on a hinge, find your level, tighten it, and you're done. They've also included a handy degree scale right here on the side of that adjustment. Nice. They've also redesigned the rear support wheels. No more thin rubber bands. You've got a much wider surface area in contact with your cylinder to give you added extra grip and support. And two big changes. This stepper motor now has a 3x gear reduction. On my old GRIP 1, I had 8,000 steps per rotation. This new GRIP 2 gives me 30,000 steps per rotation. Far more precise and finite. And that makes this chuck smooth as butter. But the big difference you probably noticed right off the bat, they call them hexajaws. And man, do they grip well. So at the end of the day, with more than 3 times the steps per rotation, a 3.5 inch longer rail bed, larger, wider surface area on your support wheels, and these hexajaws, that's going to provide you the opportunity to do longer cylinders and probably heavier cylinders, kind of like this. So what do you say we try it for the first time in the Bolt together? I don't need these stoppers in here, so I can just remove them temporarily. That's what I like about the design of these grips. They're so fungible. You can manipulate them so many different ways to fit whatever it is that you're working with. Grab my cup, slide them in, and I'm going to lock them in now. And that's it. It's locked in nice and square. Let's see if we need to adjust the height, and then let's center it. Because I'm using a skinny tumbler, I don't need to pull out a bubble level because I've got one right here. I can adjust the height so simply now, and if I want to level it, just have to turn my screw, and I can either use the rear, or I can drop the stepper motor down and keep an eye on my bubble level until I'm level, and once I'm level, I can lock it in. That's it. Now I'm just going to line up my laser head with the center line right here. minuscule adjustment required. I like the way they've created this contrast between a black background and your white center line, because that white center line allows your laser dot to pop, so you can see it all the way through. And now I know I'm in the center. Let's plug it in. Similar to the Grip 1, I believe if you have a bolt, the magnetic harness comes with it. The Hexajaws, of course, is a little overkill for this little skinny cup, but I do love using them. One of the nice changes is, because there's no taper to this cup, I don't need to put a level on it, because I've already got a built-in level. Like I said, it turns smooth as butter. The Grip 2, just like my original Grip, comes with everything you need to get going right out of the box, including a bag of gummies. And hey, who doesn't like gummies? You'll get the Hexajaws, you'll get short fingers, long fingers, a number of different parts, including the hex drivers you need. And additionally, there are a number of different other fingers or different types of grips that you can purchase. But one big change that really impressed me with the Grip 2, it's engineered not just to be used in my CO2 laser. If you've added a fiber or UV laser to your lineup, Len and Stan engineered that Grip 2 to be used with both. So I don't have to buy a second rotary. I just need to pick up an optional Galvo mount. And it's a quick switch. 4 machine screws. That's it. Get it off your rail bed and onto your Galvo mount. And they put a lot of thought into it. You can use it as a regular rotary, but I know more and more people are using their rotaries as carousels, so you can mount it to the other side so that you're able to use that functionality. And the profile of the mount is such that it'll fit within the dimensions of your 2 side safety doors in the event that you need to remove them to put a longer cylinder or tumbler in place. That way you can keep your door closed for safety. So I think that'll wrap it up for today. I wanted to thank Len and Stan for sending this along to me a few months ago so I could compare it to the original Grip I have. They both work awesome. I'm a big fan of the Grip. I love the new Hexajaws and some of the upgrades and improvements on this Grip 2. But my original Grip still works just like a charm. But this one here, the way they've engineered it, changed a few things around to allow to use the same rotary on both lasers, so I don't have to buy 2. I think that's a big benefit. If you're in the market for a rotary, add these PiBurn grips to your list of different manufacturers and models that you're doing your comparisons to or your research on. I think it's worth looking at. Thanks for sticking around today. Have a great week, a happy new year. Please be kind, and I'll see you again on the next one. I'm Gord Potter, and you've been watching LaserNug. Cheers.